set the course record a few places, and one of them was at Northampton Country. I don't know how you want to fit this
Yeah,
into.
looking for that. What'd you shoot there?
I shot 62 and 30 the last 7 holes. Couldn't put that day either. I played Billy Hyman in the quarterfinals, or the round before the quarterfinals, and his wife was sitting on the first tee, and I went over and gave her a hug, said hi. I, of course, knew these folks, and I said, I'm awfully nervous, and she said, oh, don't be nervous, just go out and play your game. And she very nicely. Also was Bill. And I beat him 3-1. I was 4 under par, and the Philadelphia newspaper headline, now I'm from Philadelphia, as Ailing Hyman loses. That made me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Reading was pretty far up in the sticks in those days. Well, this opportunity to build Musselman Springs came along, totally out of nowhere. And when I became a partner and got the job as general manager, of course there wasn't anything to general manage for 2 years till we got the course built and open. So I spent most of my time up at the course with the contractor, George Fazio, who came and went, which is the way they build golf courses. They're not there all the time. And the foreman and I got along pretty well, and I was there. I wanted to learn what it was all about anyway. I was going to be there. I was going to sit up in the trailer somewhere and just look at myself. So I got out, ran equipment, and learned how to run builders and loaders and all that stuff, and made a number of changes, which I'm sure, although George is going, his nephew Tom Fazio, who is one of the top architects in the world, has sent me notes of how much I meant to George because of the help I gave him and how that started their career. Musselman was George's first real good result. So anyway, I was up there doing that, and running bulldozers and playing golf don't work too well together, although I did play a little bit in 62 and 63. And then the course opened in 64, and from then on as manager, you're married to your job. I made my pleasure in my business probably some of it there. Again, I'm not sure which way it worked out better, but I figured if I could play with Jack Nicklaus, I could probably do something, but out on the tour in those days, there wasn't any money. And money was the name of the game. I had adopted 2 children, had a third, costs were going up. Traveling the tour. I traveled the tour for 6 weeks when I was in the Army, my last 6 weeks. I got, because of my whole Army qualification, they gave me the last 6 weeks off. And I played the Southern Tour, I played San Francisco, San Diego. There was a place when Bob Hope was going on, there was another tournament nearby. I can't think of the name of it. I played 2 places in Tucson and Phoenix, made all the cuts. So I had some of those experiences. But once I got into the opening the golf course, and I had to run the clubhouse. I didn't know anything about managing the club, other than I was a neat freak, so I wanted things to be nice and orderly. Worked out well, as you can learn on the job. It was a small clubhouse. We had no members to start. It wasn't like you build a new clubhouse and a new golf course and the whole membership flipped over. So I had the learning cycle that I could figure it all out. But golf was so secondary. I didn't have time to practice. I played an exhibition while we were just starting to open Musselman up. Well, I guess just before it opened with Arnold Palmer up and Henry Williams up at the Berkeley Country Club. And I got invited to play in that thing. That was a great experience. Let's face it, you get to play with the real legends of golf, with which I've had the terrific honor of doing. I've played with a lot of them. I played with Sam Snead, Carrie Middlecoff, Art Wall, Lee Trevino, guys like that. Mike Schmidt, great baseball player. I resigned Musselman in 67, 5 years. 5 years open was more than that, including the construction time. I wanted to try it on my own. I found some investors who said they'd invest in me if I wanted to go on the tour, turn pro, or any other golf. So I elected to put together a team to buy 5 farms up here in Heidelberg, build a golf course and clubhouse, and it's supposed to be 36 holes. And I don't know how I'm supposed to stick to this. My wife says, only stick to the good things. Honey, don't bring up the bad. But Heidelberg got off to a great start, and then the government came in and took a bunch of acres from us for the Corps of Engineers, for the Blue Marsh Dam, which is a flood control and water storage project, mainly for Philadelphia. And went right through the middle of the land, eliminated the chance of 36 holes, put a stamper on our land development. We were selling lots left and right, and all of a sudden they found out we were going to lose all these golf holes, of which we lost about a third of what they said. And just the whole thing got into difficulty, finally went into bankruptcy. 3 of us bought it out of that. And 25 years later, I was a senior in 1988, sold Heidelberg, and now I got the time and maybe enough money to play golf, and the game is not there anymore. So, not really. It was there for senior play, but it wasn't. I couldn't play regular amateur golf. It got much too long, and other things were happening, starting to have physical problems. Just my own opinion, at least, and I hope shared by some others, I was pretty instrumental in this. So, wasn't anything I didn't or wouldn't do up there. Spent one whole winter transplanting Christmas trees from a farm down in Pewtown all winter long. That's where all the trees came from that are around. So that was not part of the design. The lake on 18 wasn't part of it. So I wanted to see what I could do on my own. I was doing all these things for George Fazio and Mr. Queer, who was a great guy to work with. Another person who contributed a whole lot to golf. And his sister was quite active in golf. So, but I couldn't do any more there. It was running fairly well, very well, really. It's a great track. Everybody loved it. It was really fun to work there. And as I got out of the construction end of it and into the pleasure of seeing people enjoy it and come in and tell you how great it is. But I wanted to see what I could do on my own. And I could see if I stayed there, that's what I was going to do for the rest of my career, if they'd have me. I'm a little disappointed that you won't find anywhere in the records. We had the women's national open up there the year after I left. I think I contributed a lot to getting that tournament there. I went around the whole golf course with Joe Dye, who was then the PGA, ladies PGA czar. And but there was never any mention of me in the book that they had, the program. And except for the fact that I've won a bunch of club championships up there, that's about the extent of it. So I wanted to branch out, see what I could do. I was still young enough. The hills looked sort of like Heidelberg, Germany. There was a Heidelberg, Germany. The township, we're part of this golf course is in 2 townships, and North Heidelberg Township was one of them. Jefferson Township, well, that Jefferson doesn't sound like such a great name, so we called it Heidelberg. That's an exciting experience, too, to build something in 2 townships, and you get double the headaches. Happened at Massillon, too. We were in 2 townships up there.